7 o'clock. All right, to start here. Welcome to the Town of DeWitt, January 25th planning board meeting. Let's see here. Do we have minutes from last week? Anybody?
Yeah, you. Second, I do.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve? Kevin and Jen. We had Tuesday morning, we had 3 work sessions.
Can we vote on those?
Oh, yeah, we got to vote on it too. We already did. No. All right. So Tuesday, we had 3 work sessions, U-Haul and the Northwood project and 6,800 Partners LLC all went actually very well. One. I think there's more. We have anything on the schedule for next work session?
At this time, currently, we do have a couple of projects with reviewing, but I don't have a draft yet.
Okay. Great, get that out. All right, so first up tonight is Whit Lane.
John O'Brien from Huber Brewer, representing Whit Lane LLC. Appreciate your willingness to put it on the agenda for tonight. We're looking for lead agency designation for our seeker. We have a pending subdivision application to merge 3 small residential lots into the larger lot on Fly Road, which would consolidate all those lots. They're all zoned high tech, and we own all 4 lots. This would enable a lot to be the site of the TTM project that we've been in front of, I think, 2 or 3 workshop sessions.
Yeah.
Our site plan review will go in through the A-track. We plan to submit for the February meeting. This is a step so we can send out notices and get the seeker process moving in advance of what we think will be a fairly smooth site plan approval process.
So that's all we really needed for this one tonight. So what we're looking for is a recommendation to declare us as lead agency. And if someone's going to. Right, Kevin, right? Second. Joe, all in favor? All right, so we're going to vote on this again, actually. So I'm going to read the following resolution. This board declares this matter, which involves both site plan and subdivision approval, a type 1 action under seeker, and declares itself lead agency and directs that the notices of intent of the planning board of the town of DeWitt to act as lead agency for this action be sent. Have a motion to approve. And Kev, Joe, the second, and all in favor? Unanimous. All right.
Now, how will the easements, John, how will the easements, the town easements, do you have to do something different for that, or?
So the ones that exist.
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
So I have been trying to find out whether there are documents that goes up. There are no recorded documents in our abstract. I think they were created as part of the original subdivision that was done by Mac. But there's no document, and I don't know if they just never were recorded or whether it's just back 35 years ago they showed them on the subdivision. Yeah. Those we're going to need to vacate at least some of those because the building goes right over the one that's kind of bifurcates the inside roof of Amherst. So
Just Doug, you'd probably have to, you'd have to look at the board if there's easements great in there.
Yeah, but we've done that on other projects. We just dissolved the easements,
Right.
so that shouldn't be.
I just can't find you. I assume they run to the town. But
I would assume
I
they.
was going to ask Michael. See if he. Yeah. So. We have to figure it out.
But if you recall, we just did that on. Yeah, Way comments. There were several easements. I think there were basically sewer easements. We just dissolved.
Yeah. Years ago, we used to put creator.
Right.
Yeah, districts. Pay your business. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Next up is Loud Pack Exotics.
May I use the computer? Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Josh Warbeck. I'm an attorney at Bousquet Holstein, represent Loud Pack Exotics. Okay, way back. So here on just a sign proposal tonight, and I know we had submitted some sign plans, and there was some questions on it. I just quick overview. This is the site, and the sign we're proposing is on this facade right here. So this is what it looked like before we had put up a sign, before we put up a banner. There was nothing on this side of the building that faces Cady Road. This is what we submitted to the board, you know, and it doesn't have, it has all the detail, I think, to answer the questions, but it's not laid out the way maybe I would. So let me just go over the sign. It's a bubble cut sign. So the letters, there's no rectangular background. The sign is going to be shaped like like all the letters together. On the front are black letters, or excuse me, are the face of the letters is white with a black outline. The white is individually lit LEDs facing forward. And behind that is a white piece of plastic, basically, with lights that'll point back towards the building to give the letters a glow. So this doesn't give you kind of an idea of what. Here's the sign on the building. One point that I was very confused about until just recently is, what in the world is this cloud around our sign? The cloud is from the old site plan drawings. It was just a revision cloud to identify some point during the planning process that blue siding was found. There's no cloud being installed. There's no cloud in front of the blue. There's no cloud behind the blue. This is the only sign, and it's the bubble shaped letters over a bubble shaped background.
The letters are going to be outlined like that, or they're going to be solid in color?
The letters will be solid white with a solid white kind of background set off.
But there's a black aluminum frame around the letter.
Exactly. And I have something Mike, it's going to really help, I think.
So are they depth? Are they?
That's right. Yep. And so this is kind of the style. It doesn't say Loud Pack on it, but this is the style. White face letters, and around them is, instead of silver is black, instead of red is white on our displays. I found the Google today because I knew it was hard to explain. So that's the look of the sign.
So the square footage, would that be around the bubble of the very outside white?
Outside white, yes,
And it would be
And you-
squared off.
yes. And I see
And
right here, it's a 36 by 120 for the squared off version of that.
Yeah.
I just came in today, just got it a minute ago, so.
Well, we did submit this a few weeks ago, so it's 10 by 30 is the sign proposal. Yeah, there it is. Oops, I keep skipping that. Yeah, so 36 high, 120 across. It's if you made it a rectangle. It's obviously a little bit smaller, but you would square it off, like you said.
What's our square footage requirements? How we do that? Nice calculation, that's 20 square feet, yeah, I'm sorry, it's less. So 69 square feet is allowed, and this is coming in at 23.7 square feet, is that correct?
Yeah, I was calling it 30, yeah.
30. It's 30.
It's 30 on the way it's done, 10 by 3.
How
It's-
far does it stand off? 8 inches? Is that what that says?
So the background, that's the way I read this, the background panel is flush on the wall, and the letters are an 8-inch deep letter on standoffs that maybe it's about 10 inches on the wall.
That's
Well,
actually a 5.
Is it a 5?
It's a 5. I'm sorry, it's a terrible. I wish I
It
could.
doesn't touch the building. It stands off the building and then the background and then another 5
Yeah,
inches.
it looks like it's a 2-inch leg and a 5-inch letter then.
Correct. Sign guy.
I think maybe it's a little misleading in this rendering, but the kind of the bubble outline of Loud Pack is, they're really going to be an airspace between it and exotics.
Is there really space between these two?
Yeah, because I see, you see the cross section on the right side, like there's airspace.
Yes, there is airspace between them.
Yeah, they're individual floating letters on a back acrylic or whatever. you're-
Aluminum.
panel that's then directly on the wall. That's
Oh, no, I know what he's asking. So is the white one piece, or is there a top piece of white and a bottom piece of white?
That is all one piece.
Oh, that is all one.
So in the
No,
thing, you
this
just have to
bottom
connect
is,
that black.
yeah, this bottom is white.
Yes, and it's one
You
piece.
would have to connect the black line that is vertical in the section. Oh, no, you
No, no,
wanna
no.
know what it is?
No, no.
Oh, I
It's
see.
not the legend, it's part of the letter
The
check.
outline to the left is not the building, it's the white part.
In the section.
Right.
That's the back,
They're individual letters.
Yes, that's right. This is the back.
Do you know what I'm saying?
This
Yeah.
that's the white aluminum.
This, right.
The two thin lines.
All right, so this
Yeah.
white bar here represents this whole bubble shaped cut
That was.
from the
It's
side.
mounted flush to the building, correct? The piece of.
Yes,
Yeah,
this will be
okay.
mounted flush to the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the confusion.
Nick, can you do better diagrams next to this?
I will do my best. I mean,
The image really does help, and I will say that our lawyer really did want a rendering of what it looked like on the building, so we would be able to understand how it would be lit.
Yeah.
Because that, with it being white, we really don't know what a white light would, we don't know what the white light would look like instead of the red. It's all white, so what are you planning for lighting, I guess?
It's white facing forward, but it's a green glow as described in the diagram.
Mhm.
So this is not a rendering of the sign. This is just trying to give some more
Yeah.
context, because this, I knew that this was not easy to understand what this was, but this does describe it, green LED halo lighting on back.
Thoughts on this?
I think there was a different image that I liked better with the
Background.
square panel background. Yeah, a rectangle, and squared off background.
Okay. What was the idea of those? Like a aluminum backer piece being a rectangle instead of a ball. With all letters floating on top, that's the background of the sign relates to the
Building,
architecture of that, which is a nice clean. rectangle.
yeah,
You think this will look cleaner with a rectangle?
yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm different either way.
It's more preference, yeah. I mean, it can certainly be made that way. It's just the design aspect that it's still.
It's all green, the background is gonna go green.
On top of the white only, yeah.
On top of the white letters.
So I had the picture myself, if there was a white rectangle here. Versus the cloud letters, that's the discussion. It doesn't either way.
I like the fact that it's individual channel letters versus a big box sign.
That's what I thought was the objection last time with that huge sign that was put up mistakenly
That's where people,
was
that's what people have got.
too alarming.
So we're trying to get off of that mentally right now.
Sure.
And so I appreciate the letters. I'm just looking not to have the whole thing feel. Lucy, so it's that's a relatively clean piece of architecture that, with that building. is clean.
And this is a much smaller sign than was planned, so this is much kind of classier, smaller look to it. How bright will the light be?
Yeah, that's a,
I mean, the white letters themselves lighting up is just gonna be like your standard sign driving down the road on Erie Boulevard or anything like that. The green background glow is just an accent, so it's not very bright. It's just a little bit of a gives it a little more definition at night.
so it's not as bright as the red we see in that.
No, it's not.
That's something we said,
So we have nothing to reference if we were to approve it. You know, so then we could get the brightest light and they would be like, well, this is the light we were always intending.
Would you have the ability to dial it down as part of the install?
It is possible to do that, yes.
Yeah, because I guess this doesn't have the strength and
Mhm.
Right.
in light, it does give a color of the light, but do you know that I don't know, what's the measurement for light? It's not Kelvin, it's
Kelvin.
It is Kelvin.
Kelvin is somewhere between daylight and.
It's
It is considered daylight, the 7100, so that's the white that,
super bright,
That-
yeah.
But it does
That's the
go through
color-
a
that's
white
the color
acrylic
of the
base,
light.
so it's not like looking right at a light bulb or anything, but. And then colors are not measured in the same Kelvin, it's actually measured in nanometers, so. It's kind of hard to represent that. But. Could be about 50%, I mean, because a color versus bright white. Is probably about 50% of the brightness of that 7100. And another difference is the white facing forward, you get relatively full strength, but the green faces backwards, so it's even cut further than that.
Is there an intensity of light number that you could commit to that wouldn't be a middle ground intensity? Like what in terms of an actual number?
I mean, I would say about 50%, so 3,500 or so,
That's the color of the light though, right? The color. Yeah, right, that's what I saw.
the brightness.
I thought it was like blue to white, blue to.
Right, it's not the lumens, you're right.
It's the way you mount the green. Kind of. Is where the green is placed inside the back of the letters, does that provide a cutoff? So it doesn't just also get flow through the process.
It doesn't have a cutoff, but the angle of the LED itself is only set at 120 degrees. So you only get 120 degrees. facing straight back.
Yeah, these are the LEDs are right here. I mean, they're mounted pretty close, so the
It's only gonna be
shadow,
about 1.5 inches.
the shadow is not what. It doesn't go be, it wouldn't, the idea would, it would never extend beyond this outline,
That's correct.
Agreed.
the green.
Agree.
Concealed conduit and connections, correct?
All going directly from the letters into straight back into the building.
Then is lighting on a timer.
Depends on the building itself. It could be on a timer or a photo.
Dark to sunrise, sunset to sunrise. The lighting wouldn't be running operable during the daytime.
Not during the daytime.
I mean, because your business is obligated to close at night. Right. That's per.
So
there you
the
go.
lights go off at night.
If you want to go off at 9, we turn it on at 9.
That's a good time, 9 o'clock.
Is the
By the regular
OCM lawful?
Might be something to go.
So if we have a way to dial the LED down,
Yeah,
like,
60 volt,
so
yeah.
the intensity of the light. I think that I'm fine with that part because I'm more concerned that it will be like a
Shiny beacon or something.
And it
I
is-
think that's the idea.
yeah,
There's all kinds of tricks to make your sign feel bigger. And
Yeah.
that's what we're reacting to, so.
Oh, right, I understand, but that outline is a representation of how wide that glow is intended to go.
and right now it says 36 by
Like,
yes.
120.
Correct.
By 3.
I'm okay with about.
Actually, the more I think about it from a design point of view, if there's, if the LEDs are in a cutoff mode
Mhm.
where they trace the letter.
Yeah.
I'd rather have it trace the letter than not
Yeah.
brighter on
Exactly.
the white panel and
Right.
duller on another part of the furthest away corner of the panel.
Exactly.
And actually makes the sign feel smaller, so.
Yeah. I don't object to it at all, so I think that-
We will make sure the intensity is reasonable and respond to your inquiries.
All right, so.
Ready for your resolution now? You don't have Jamie here to help write it.
Yeah. We got many notes on this, so. Do we have I'm just. Get the drawing date here.
What date is on the drawing? Oh, is this the drawing that you submitted today, though?
No, this was submitted initially, weeks and weeks ago.
Maybe
It
on-
hasn't changed at all.
Maybe on
I think it was just.
I sent a follow-up email today with answering some questions, but it's the exact same. I didn't look at the diagram.
8/16. All right, so
Not 8/16, no, 1/16.
Yeah, 16 sounds correct.
The drawing date says 8/16/23, and it was revised on 8/22/23. According to
This
this,
is not, oh, excuse me, no, you might be right, let me,
that's the elevation drawing, but it's got a sign on it. In less than red.
I have the full diet what I said.
I don't know. I wish it would do this.
That's in my, here.
Lee, you have his full name.
Josh Warbeck.
Trying to make sure you can.
This is what was submitted in this number, they get it right, but this was.
Here, a couple of them.
Well, the drawing in the package does have a date and revision date on it. And it does represent what is in the sign shop, so we can use that one as the record, in the record.
Perfect.
So do you want to call it the 8/22?
We're gonna call it the 8/22. All right, so I'll make a motion and we'll go from there, so. This is modification to the approval of the project dated December 14th, 2023. And a fulfillment of a condition of said approval related to signage. The board approves the sign package dated 8/22/23, drawing number A201. The architectural drawing, which is backlit channel letters on a wall-mounted aluminum bubble panel with the dimensions of 36 by 120 inches on an overall size. With a green halo light and white letters. There you go. And except as specifically modified herein. That being that we have the ability to look at the intensity control of the backlight, green halo, upon installation,
In the white line,
and the white light.
yes.
All other findings and conditions of the December 14th, 2023 approval are in full force and effect and unmodified. Does anybody want to make the recommendation? Everyone's going for a 2-pack. Jenny, all in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Does the sign have to be off at 9 o'clock?
It's not a requirement in the code.
You just have to follow the code.
Yep.
All righty, thank you.
Thank you.
Expect to see a lineup at the. Next up is Verizon Data Center.
Thank you. Shoulder down.
Hey.
Nice sense. Good evening, Steve Carr with Verizon, and I'm accompanied by John Dunn from our architect, Neil and Associates. When we last visited on the 11th of January, the town requested we bring a sample of the horizontal option we were discussing, and to also provide renderings showing different shadings of brown colors. So John will bring up the.
See where the zoom is here.
So this shows the gate and the fence line.
Yeah, so the screening we're talking about is from the corner across the drive with the gate and then down to a spot out there. And do you want me to go to what the rendering looks like, just to refresh there?
First, zoom in on that area again. So I just want to see the relationship between the stuff we're screening, where the screen is, because we had some other thoughts after looking at the renderings on Tuesday
Okay,
about, and then trying to understand what they were representing exactly. So, because the renderings show a lot of things to us that.
sure. So it's the rendering is looking this way across the throat of the drive.
Mhm. And where, could you tell me again where the fence goes, the slatted fence goes from and to? Because
It starts here.
yeah,
and runs here. This section is the gate.
Yep.
And then to right about here.
Okay,
What's the distance between the fence and our bad electronics, like car stuff?
Well, the drive is 24 feet across, so probably 36 feet.
And the whole effort of this is to screen the data center from.
No, it was initially to not see the equipment,
Right.
the equipment that was right here on the face.
Yeah.
As you're rendering, it shows it back.
Yeah, that's why we're gonna get to this, and then we're gonna jump to the renderings, and we're gonna,
There
I
was,
think, expand upon what we thought we were seeing. And you can fill us in as what we should be seeing, so we can, then we react to it.
There are three options. We're showing in order of our preference, option one. And
I got one question. So when we screen, our goal is to screen from the property. The public side.
From the public side.
Right, so we're talking the public side, where's the public?
at the, here's Creek Circle right here. And this is the,
So we're at least 150 feet from the thing we're trying to screen. In that ballpark, over 100 feet. Right.
yeah, I don't know the exact
36 feet.
distance.
And the approach, you know, it says,
This is a
arrow approach.
yeah, like 120.
I can barely see through that thing.
Well, these slats are great. I think if it was spaced like the top one to the second one,
That's
we would
right.
see.
Right.
Yeah, and that was the question when they came the last time. We didn't know what the spacing was.
So there's custom spacing available on
In that
these.
case.
They can go from completely closed to 3/8 of an inch, 1/2 inch, and 1 inch for the stock spacing.
So is this the spacing that you would use? That's the question.
This is the display that
It's a little
The
tight-
distributor.
it's tighter on the drawings. The sample is to show what kind of physical structure we're actually talking about.
It's a real piece of structure.
Something that, because the picture, you can look at a picture, but that tells you.
So the drawing actually has less gap than that.
No, I think they say they can make it adjustable.
Yeah, we can.
Right,
I don't
and
think
so that was my question, because if you gapped it that large, you're gonna be able to see through it, and we should get what we're doing. If we gap it with just a 3/8 inch, it's almost solid and it would be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Or it becomes a wall in your face.
Yeah,
There's a fine line.
Yeah,
between.
they can also take the spacers out, and there's no gap, but then you get that.
solid, yeah.
Right, let's go to the renderings.
Back here.
Forget too, there's a chain link fence behind it.
Mhm.
There's another mesh of structure.
I sort of like losing the look of the chain link, unless the chain link was.
So when we were here previously, we showed horizontal slats on the fencing and then the coverings in the chain link fence, but they were different colors. So you asked for a uniform color. This displays it's more of a darker brown shade. And by the way, there's stock colors. There's 4 stock colors that you can get readily, but they can make, because it's anodized, they can make virtually any shade and any color that you want.
The rail film.
Yeah.
So we rendered 2.
So that's the darker brown shade.
And that's a horizontal sliding gate.
Yes,
That's horizontal sliding.
it's 20
So
foot.
how did you render it? With what spacing or what size slats? Because they almost read like 8-inch slats to me.
Yeah, 6 inch is what we use.
Okay,
And that's our preference because I think it's better proportional with 6 inch slats, given the height of the gate,
Mhm.
How tall is this now?
8 feet.
okay.
As opposed to, they also make 2.5 inch slats, but I think that would be,
6 inches, what's the gap? 3/8 or?
yes.
Right. And the second rendering is just a different shade. But as Steve said, we can get a couple of them. I think the first color looked kind of closer to some of the coping.
Coping and that's better.
There was also some discussion that black was not preferred. So we wanted to give a lighter brown option to just get the opinion from the town.
I like the first brown.
Me too.
Yeah.
It was like a gunmetal gray.
Gunmetal gray, or so it's an architectural bronze slash gunmetal gray kind of thing going in there, so that's. Next one.
That's it.
That's the only two. we
That's
have.
it for option one. We had some other options.
Yeah, I wanna-
You
let's,
want to see them?
yeah, because we looked at those on Tuesday and we were getting some of those. I just want to make sure we're
Okay, yeah, let me see.
seeing. Wait. a minute. I walked out of the call on Tuesday thinking that the fence was on the other side of the driveway
Yeah.
and a tighter screening element covering up the electronics, so we saw more building.
Even against the building.
Yeah, there's.
Just out in front of those,
Back of the.
just on the other side of the road of the, when you pull in.
That's where it was originally.
Yeah.
Because that was the original design,
Right.
basically.
So this option utilizes what you might see in a
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, it's a privacy windscreen.
Yeah.
It's pretty dense, about 90% blocks, made out of polyethylene. That's the look that you would see with that. If you're probably familiar with this type of material.
Yeah, we're not gonna go there.
Yeah, we don't like
We're not gonna
it.
go there, so. We gotta take that one off the table.
No, it wasn't, that's good, we get rid of one. And then the last option, if I can get to it. Was going back to what you referred to closer to the
Right.
original. And so you can see back here, we would be using that same screening system.
Yep, smaller,
And it would just go in front of all the equipment on this face.
and then step up taller in the center section there.
Yeah, we have a large transformer
Yep.
on National Grid. So that would be, so really it's the same material. I only rendered one color.
Yep.
But if you like the darker brown color, if you want to use this option, we can do that as well.
What material is that?
The same thing,
We do the same thing, it's our.
but there you're gonna have a chain link fence in front of
In
it.
front of it.
That's right.
This is kind of what was originally.
Intended.
Yeah, yeah.
And they didn't get there.
That was our original concept.
But now it's not.
But I thought you said it was infeasible because of access and so on.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, in going back and talking to the civil engineer, we figured out a way at the curb line in front of the equipment to drop the concrete footings in.
Yep.
That we can bolt into.
So this option's back on the table.
It is an option that's on the table.
And this is the one, correct me if I'm wrong, that we kind of
They were gonna.
hovered around on Tuesday because one, it's instead of having a big, now, my personal opinion is, I get what you're trying to do. The fence at the road line is like the big, like, ooh, we don't want you here. And trying to hide it away what's going on back there. And to me, it's not being friendly to the citizen. Where this one, behind the chain link fence, is an architectural play on what we're screening, has a centering element that lines up with the road, which grabs your eye, then it steps down as it goes back in, it shows off more of the building. It's not a bad looking building, why are we hiding it?
Also too, that screen wall that we're talking about, I mean, it's a handsome wall, but it's also just a section of the front of the building. It
Right.
stops.
Yeah, we
It
don't
ends-
see
yeah,
that,
it's just-
but it's definitely just a,
And to me, it's like if you're driving by, and we look at it, focus on one angle, if you drive by and go around, it looks like, what are they doing? They just started and stopped,
Right,
it doesn't make sense, where this makes sense to me.
right.
And I actually like the multi-level play on it too, because it's making.
I mean, at least you're
shaking out the
consistent
fence.
because this is what we, was the first.
Yeah, and now they're saying it's possible, and I like the better fence.
so why do you guys have it as your third option and not your second? Why do you have it as your third? If you said you liked them in this order.
It's a longer lead time. And it's a more complicated solution, more expensive.
The third option is more expensive than the first one?
Yeah,
Because it's longer.
because we have we're setting it back.
There's multiple, there's the fall along the curb line. And we're working in next to. It's it's a little more intricate than just working with the fence, essentially is what it
Are
is.
are they segmented or straight pieces?
I'm sorry.
Are they straight pieces to create kind of a segmented
Yeah.
curve, or are they curved pieces?
They're
Follow the
straight,
radius.
I believe they
So
come
it's
8 foot stop.
Stop. Stands.
Well, I guess like on the first option, I presume too that you would need to have some sort of informational signage mounted to this. I'm not sure how employees are getting in and out, if there's a badge
Yeah, there's a badge at the gate.
at the gate, little
Card.
little card reader, right? Yeah. But I mean, is there any other signage gonna be mounted on there, of any kind on that sliding gate?
There could be.
Well, I mean, I'm asking, I would prefer there wasn't. I'm just thinking about people that are, arriving and then how do they know?
Yeah, the only people arriving are employees of Oregon.
The third option, you way better, way faster.
Yeah,
It would be.
yeah. It should be. I like the little signage and stuff on the center section right there. No sign, just the address on it, and just the number on it. That's
I'm in favor of the third. one.
third,
Just kind of where we
strong
started.
push for me. I say third. Third. Get behind the third. one.
You have the address of it. You can see the address.
It's just so-
It's just the
That's
pollution
wall.
thing always. Like,
It's just a
yeah,
it's like-
like.
Yeah, you've got the address on it.
Got the address. Right? The other way,
No,
It is more
it's
inviting.
the Front to the public. That's hard to do, but just to me, the fact that it starts off in elevation that respects what the centering sits taller, right there sells it for the design. My perspective.
Now that you're seeing some landscape.
You've seen some landscaping, yeah, you've got all this good landscaping, there, it's all gone. I'll get back.
So did they already have that sign in the permit? The original permit? Did you have that sign in the original design?
That's just. a difference.
Yeah. But it's,
That wouldn't be. That would be-
okay.
So, but I guess Jen, it's a good question, was this fence that we're seeing now part of the original approved package, or is this different because of different, it's a different fence?
So that what we looked at when we were here before a couple of years ago was a concept.
Yep.
How we want screening equipment. That really fleshed out what it was going to be.
So we approved the concept that we're gonna screen the equipment. Now we're
But we
gonna
needed
approve
the
how it's gonna be
material.
done, so I saw that, because otherwise.
Exactly.
Not like we had a renting.
Yeah.
So is this,
We did have a perspective.
I saw, I remember.
Nothing like this.
Right, it wasn't the same as this. So with the image right now rendered, what did you use in the rendering? 6-inch or is it closer? How did, it looks a little bit different than the first image. I don't see any
Yes,
horizontal
zoom in on
lines.
that one.
Yeah, maybe zoom like,
Pardon me.
oh, I see the lines now. Yeah,
Here we go. So it looks like it's the 6-inch slide again, and that's 3/8 inch.
3/8,
Whatever.
yeah.
and it kind of has the same color as the cap.
Yeah, I like this, I think we'd go for this dark
Mm-hmm.
architectural bronze / criminal gray, whatever they're
Yeah.
calling this.
Dark
Is-
color.
You want to match the coping,
I want to match the copings and the downspout stuff. Yeah.
done.
And the address on it's great.
I agree.
This is the winner.
Need to come back and formalize your site drawing with this layout. Or is it-
We do have I believe we have the drawing updated for them.
The chain link is
I mean, we're all
poly coated,
We can make a motion.
black poly coated.
Yes.
Yeah, I assume there's a drawing.
Yeah, pretty drawing it back this up that would get in, we could.
Could you open up you said you have a site drawing?
Yeah, do you have option 3 showing a shape on a site drawing?
See if I can zoom in here.
So we need a new drawing with that option 1 and 2 removed from the plan.
Right, so what we did is we kind of outlined what
We can
the,
make a condition of approval, yeah, I would like to move this, we're on agreement here, I want to move this.
we outlined it on the plan that was submitted. The 3 options,
Yep.
just so you can see them.
Yep.
And then the option 3, the one that we think everyone is liking,
Yep.
is shown here.
Yep.
And I can pull the others off.
Yep, you
and
just,
send the drawings in.
we can do it that way,
Excellent.
all right?
Let's see.
Do we have a date on that drawing, or will there be a revision date on a new drawing, or?
There will be a revision date, but this date I'm gonna say is today. I hope.
I would say we could
Is
use this date.
Yeah, use this date.
Until it's left it off, right?
Yeah,
And then he just follows up.
Is it today's date, the most current? Most current today?
Sure.
Yes, and I will leave
Sure.
I'll leave the thumb drive here. I think that was your request, I would do.
Yes,
And does that show the landscaping on that?
It does, we have a separate landscaping plan included.
Yeah.
In the thumb drive. Which didn't change from,
hasn't changed from previous, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna read a motion, and then we'll go from there. So motion, this is a modification to a site plan for the premises previously approved in 2021. Requested modification to previous approved plan primarily involves screening and fencing. The board approves the plan dated today, 1/25/23, which consists of the option 3 fence layout
In screening, like fencing and
and
screening.
fencing and screening layout.
That is interior to the chain link
Correct, that
fence.
is interior to the chain link fence. Of the material presented. Which is a,
Do you have an actual
Yeah.
name, color name that we could reference? Possess a color name that we could reference?
Well, this is a stock gray color. The actual one we use would be custom to match the coating.
I wanna
Architectural
pay.
bronze.
yeah, I'm gonna call it architectural bronze, because that's what it's gonna always come up with.
Yes.
Who's the manufacturer of that system?
Aluminum outlet.
Okay, as manufactured by Aluminum Outlet in the color architectural bronze or equal
And our local distributor is Atlas Fence.
of that, it's okay. Let's see. And then accept as specifically modified herein, all other findings and conditions of the prior approval are in full force and effect and unmodified. Spacing on, oh, the other item will put spacing on it, 6-inch slats with a 3/8 gap. Do I have a? Devin's gonna go for the three pack. Joe, seconds, all in favor? Unanimously carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank
A
Appreciate it.
3/8 inch gap,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
My next question would be that, when we discussed the last time, we also discussed the certificate of occupancy, which is very pertinent to our constituent groups in order for them to start installing the mission critical equipment that they have planned and scheduled. And they come to me and they say, we've got a substantially completed network facility, yet we can't use it, we can't gain access to it because there's no full CFO yet. Do we have a timeline or is there a plan where we
You need to talk to them.
Move over there.
can I call you tomorrow?
Sure.
You know, have your number, please?
Yeah, 315-558-8417. Okay,
Thank you very much.
thanks.
So you don't want it labeled option 3 though, when he gives us the final drawing.
Whatever you're ready.
It will not be option 3.
Okay,
Correct.
I just
It's
want,
option 3 that's
Yeah.
presented to the board, but
yeah,
it'll be the only option on the drawing.
yeah.
Thank you. Okay, up next. Ethan Allen. There's some back here.
Oh,
It's a guessing game.
it is, if I can find it. I don't want to push it. Excellent.
Let's see. Did I go or are we waiting? Jenny just been up. Yeah, I can wait, I can get these pulled up.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to check which one.
Well, I think we need all voting. We're waiting for.
Yes. Right. That's right, she wanted to make sure, she would have come into the shot at one. Perfect time. Yeah. So, well,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Alex Sammer. And yeah, of course, SAM. And I'm here on behalf, I think you've been going through this project with Fitzroy. It's gonna be here tonight, so I'm representing for him and Ethan and the team. To amend the previously approved 100 Dewey Avenue site plan. Him and the team, I think, previously spoke with the board at an informal workshop. And there was a request for a revised site plan package, including elevations, which I have here, we can go through, as well as wall sections and architectural material. I can provide a sample I can pass around if you guys would like. As requested, and yeah, so the architect couldn't be here to make the meeting either, but he supplied me with these samples and drawings. And noted, I believe all questions or comments were addressed in these plans. And since they were looking for final approval on the amended site plan so that we can start the building permit process and construction on the interior building. And if you have questions or comments, I can. So I can do my best.
Who do you work with?
Kevin Griffin. Liz.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's.
This is the facade.
Yeah, that's the facade.
Yeah.
I can get it.
So what specifically changed with this?
Yeah, so this is, my understanding is that this is an update. And they're looking for a final, but it's an update based on the fact that they're changing the band at the top.
Yeah, oh, I'm happy.
Such part of the architecture of it that we have to see it. So,
Yeah, what I was proud was the comments we received last time were wall sections should be address the glass paneling above the Reed's entryway, continuous insulation. Yeah, insulation in the relationship between the building facade and interior. So.
What is the material calling out? We need to zoom in on it.
Yeah, of
But
course.
on the top of the.
these part the.
No, keep going to your right. Keep going. Keep going.
I think the
Lighted.
lighted glass beacon.
Beacon. Okay.
Beacon.
Oh, it's lit. It's lit just.
We can make it.
Well, I mean, it shows up as kind of a gold a gold beacon at the top on the renderings.
Yeah, why don't we go back and look at that?
I mean, it's cool.
I see what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess when it's not on, just if it's not lit, is it just clear glass?
I bet it's,
yes, it is transparent. There's a transparency.
it's colored.
Yeah,
Yes,
look at
it's
that.
like
It's a little
gold.
white
It's
light.
like gold, yeah.
Right,
And all of these, I believe Vince had mentioned, there's also design standards. I believe these were choices of their buildings that they typically do.
Is the signage to be part of today's approval and?
I don't believe so. I was not sent for
It would be in, on the multi-tenant signage.
Yeah,
plan.
I just remember last time we talked about it, there were two different brands or names.
I believe, yeah, we have Reed's Jeweler here, and then on the front, there's this Rolex.
There was an exception. I thought that Jamie was identifying that would make that possible because you really can't have two different. So, well, that's not tonight.
Okay.
It will be a signage, it would be a separate. Branding.
And the awnings are metal.
Metal.
awnings.
Yes.
Right, there you go.
I'm trying to think what the difference was.
Yeah, the siding that continues to wrap around to the right side, does it just dead end or,
Turn the corner.
No, I believe it turns the corner. It's the entire building.
oh, the entire building?
I think so. Why don't we go through the
Let's scan through.
elevations quick and make sure that's the side with the Rolex sign. Here's our.
If it turns, it's a corner there on the right.
Maybe it doesn't then. This one, because that looks like that's,
The other elevation.
yeah.
I don't think it's necessary that it does wrap
Okay.
the backside, but I
It's something
think
that-
I think it's important, it needs to turn the corner and.
So it appears that
Yeah.
it wraps
And
around.
it's showing, at least it's showing profile, and it's showing the profile shape on the right hand
The
side.
Yeah.
cornice does also turn as well. Yeah.
Yeah. There. Yes. That would be the corner we're talking about.
That's the corner I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Right there, yeah.
yes.
Read a motion. Then. This is a modification to the site plan approval for the premises dated 3/23 of 23. The minor facade changes have been discussed as being an improvement to the premises, primarily with respect to the updated facade features. The plan as presented and dated, what date is on the
I'll
show?
get you that date right now. It is. Let's see. These don't appear to have, one. Let me go to
Maybe in this title block.
Yeah.
Right?
9/25/22. That is not, that can't be the.
No, it's before the original.
Yeah, that wouldn't be. This one says 11/30/23. That's not what this one says, though. If there's a way to distinguish the. Maybe they just didn't get
I
updated.
don't
as they
think
were
they
working
updated
on
the
it.
dates on
Yeah,
this.
it's just for the drawing change.
What's your suggestion on the? On the. You're gonna need a hard copy anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna be, right.
So we're gonna request them dated
The
today's date.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
And then submitted.
And then we'll just compare to what we have on file.
Correct, for the images that are on.
We'll date them today's date.
25th, okay.
Yeah.
I'll make sure all those drawings have today's date.
Yeah.
But the rendering, that's smooth, drawings is that standing seam.
Yeah,
They don't show.
the rendering shows smooth. I like the smooth better than standing seam, so we're
Well,
gonna.
we're just gonna have to.
Make a condition.
So, and dated 1/25/23 is approved as a modification to the site plan approval date of 3/23/23. And and accept as specifically modified herein with the following conditions.
Oh, that'd be weird.
It's 24.
Yeah.
Just a little-
The 25th of
24.
of
Yeah,
24.
of
of 24.
Around September. I'll get there. The following conditions. One, the cornice work shall return at the outside corners that face the public in the public parking lots. Two, the awnings will be metal and smooth in finish. And all other findings and conditions of the prior approval are in full force and effect and unmodified. Anybody want to make that motion? I'll make it. Kevin, and Doug seconds. All in favor? Aye, unanimous. Sorry. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Condition, the Corning will wrap the public facing.
Two, technically.
Okay.
Switch orders, let me pull this out, sorry.
I'm old school. I get words, I get around all the time. I'm not sure it's all the fair word. You know, the board seeing this project before, James not doing only. I'm gonna try and finish it. This project is a very boulevard, we own two buildings, a 9,400 square foot building, and a 300 square foot building. Our plan is to demolish the 4,300 square building. 4,300 square foot building, and then make a number of site changes to really unify the site together. Here in Boulevard, the two driveways. You can see the buildings now, we have a row of parking, we connect the site all the way around, and we have green space all around the outside. It's a pretty simple.
Were there three parcels combined?
It's gonna combine the three parcels into
Into one.
one.
I just want to make sure.
Yep, and that's all in there.
Yep.
And we bring the sites currently not compliant for parking, it only has 23 spaces. With this, we bring it up to 40, it needs 61. We're doing the best we can at this point. We bring it to 40. That's overall the project.
This is for the subdivision, just a subdivision, so. This one. You know, we have before we have.
We sent in the county. For a referral,
Yes, it was.
but it didn't come back. Their next meeting is on the 14th.
So. We can move.
It's all there. But James said good vote.
Well,
But James said good vote.
Yeah, I thought you said.
we could do it without.
Right.
We can't do that.
Just for some.
This, for the subdivision, you can't do the site,
Right, and so
but we can do the, I think we can do the subdivision.
I think we can because it's not dividing,
Right,
it's putting together.
It's pretty fast.
Yes.
I mean, the trick is, we still don't have any conflicts.
so the referral is not back.
So
That's what it says.
Yes, it does.
So I'm gonna try and find, see if it came, so. we can-
Right.
So, what's it say? Can't.
Well, I mean, is there any reason that can't wait to really combine the subdivision and the site plan approval at the time it comes back? There's no reason why we can't do that. So it sounds like that we have to.
You gotta wait till the county. You gotta wait 30 days for
Yeah.
jurisdiction. The jurisdiction will be effect.
We have to look at zoning for.
It'll have to go zoning with it. Well, anyways, it's gonna go right back in again. What's the same thing? So. We have no issue with this whatsoever.
Right.
So there's no.
Yeah.
Well, we can vote.
Do the strong vote thing. This is the 14th. Doesn't matter.
February 14th, next time.
So will you guys have the proposed site plan and stuff?
We've submitted the full set of documents.
Yeah, the full document.
You have a full set of civil site plans. You're the entire
Yeah, so
project.
do we do a working meeting about the parking and anything and have, so the next meeting they come, we just do everything?
I believe what Jamie sent in was a resolution to approve this tonight, contingent upon getting approval from
Right.
Onondaga County.
Correct.
So everybody was all set with that. We just didn't get the referral.
Yeah, it's just a referral. Yeah,
We're
so-
all set. I don't think there's any parking issues. We're legally not forming with this side more compliant. No,
I'm looking through that.
Yeah.
So sorry to say.
All those comments.
Yes, we've got no issue on the whole time. So we just gotta wait.
I even checked their meeting. They
I
met
checked
today.
also.
You didn't know? Yeah.
All right. So your place on after the 14th?
Should be all set.
First available.
So was it on the agenda? Was it on their agenda?
I didn't check their agenda, but they did approve. They didn't act on it today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for making the drive.
Thank you.
Just so everybody knows, we did have an inquiry from the neighbor.
Yeah.
Malcolm Smith
Mhm.
at, Smith Interiors.
Okay.
So he was inquiring on the Tokyo Soul project, in your project.
Right.
And he called in at the town board meeting the other night. And his response was he was looking forward to what you were doing.
Should we improve it?
Yes.
That's what we told him.
And they're easier at least with
Yeah.
the additional parking, it's sort of problem. Do bigger building, just won't park.
Yeah, it's a winner all the way around.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, excuse me, sir. Can we get your name again?
James Bogwheelwood, BOG, LI. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, don't take care, you're off. Yeah, you.
Jeff, we're next.
Can I skip someone?
No,
Yep.
I'm gonna go old school like the previous guy. My name is Jim Brennan. I'm the representing the applicant 6181 Thompson Road LLC for a change of use from office to adult daycare for the former Vera House property located on Thompson Road. There's going to be the existing layout works very well with the new tenant. They're requiring no interior or exterior improvements. We're gonna do some painting and some lipstick inside, but other than that, we have the required parking spaces, handicap, traffic flow to suit the needs. So if you have any specific questions on business, I can introduce Jennifer Hawley.
What are your hours?
9 to 3.
9 to 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was kind of curious.
So all the parking is in place.
That's correct.
Striped and everything.
That's correct. And actually, the requirement for parking is very little. Most people are dropped off by
More drop off.
Yeah.
the buses and family members. So the parking is majority for employees. But yes, it's all existing in line and striped and handicapped.
And is this building in the lot part of the larger complex or is it a?
It is.
It's separate, okay? It's all together.
Correct.
Yeah, we talked about this on Tuesday a little bit about the need to be here, and it's only because of the occupancy change, and it seems highly appropriate and
Very needed.
a great fit in the area for that area, so we don't, this wasn't one we're gonna raise a big flag on for change of use, so. We'll cut right to the change. I don't make a motion, motion to approve the application for change of use as presented and dated. Do you, but is there a?
I will put 125 on there right now.
Of 24.
Of 24.
With the following findings and conditions, this matter is before the board as required by the code where there is a change of use to the tenancy of the commercial use. The applicant is proposing an adult daycare use in part of the premises. While this is a change of tenancy, the adjacent part of the building is used as a similar compatible use. Given the remote location and reasonable upkeep of the building for the proposed uses with ample parking, further site plan modifications are not warranted. The change of use is approved and no site plan modifications are requested or approved, and none may be made without appropriate site plan review per the code. Good one. All right, Kev, second, Doug, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck.
And all the participants will thank you.
I'm glad you're able to find a place to jump right into, too.
Yes. Excuse me, Jim, I didn't get your last name.
Right.
Thank you.
That's right.
We have the lights, we don't have to do anything to it. That's pretty loud.
All right, 44 next door.
I'm sure I figured that.
Sorry, Nate, we went a lot faster without you.
Send you an email.
I was just like.
She'll text you.
Yeah, yeah, don't let me spike the ball.
Yeah.
before it's
You
done.
can
Hold
say
on.
that we can have a 2-hour discussion with something here, so.
No discussion. All right,
So,
let's-
this one is in for preliminary. And this one does need a town board decision before we can do anything with it. So, with that said,
Okay,
right away.
well, the last time I was here, you guys had a couple of requests. Was to add some trees along the east side, which we did, and provide a drainage letter, which is, okay, I don't know if we even open that, but that's with the file from the engineer. And to change the facade from drive-it to, how do we go back?
Just nice-
On the right side, you can see the up and down arrow, go to your right, to your right.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's up.
But it's on the bottom right.
Maybe you want to go down. Or is that drawing?
I just need to go back one.
You should stop looking. The free one is just as good.
Yeah, that's true.
Jeff, it might be the second in the folder. I'm not, I don't think I included it in the.
Yeah, I saw it when I opened it, but where did?
I think go back down to the folder. New close. There we go.
Okay.
There you go.
We're all set. Go ahead. Sorry.
The front elevation has vinyl siding on it. I originally proposed to drive it. That was decided that was not what you wanted. If you wanted a hardy plank panel or a metal panel. So we're proposing a hardy plate panel. The brick is in good shape. There's no need to do anything with the brick. So those were the three items that you had asked for. If you see anything. It's the challenge, take those. You put it in the bottom.
You can hit the X by bookmark, so they.
Yeah, hit the X by
bookmark. And let get rid of the other one. Yeah, there we go.
Well, now get change drawings real quick.
Yeah, we'll get back to it. There.
Look at there.
It's really just the hardy plank panels, that's new, everything else that's on this side, windows, brick facade,
That's all existing, the brick is in good shape.
the brick kind of portal walls around the door, those are existing.
Combine the two parcels. There's a little building that's in really bad shape. The roof is like, it's gonna fall down soon. I'd like to get going, at least that, get going on this project.
So I
What?
we can't move on it because of the town board is kind of, is kind of weighing on this one from a. It's a kind of a subdivision, is it?
I was gonna ask, is it the subdivision?
It's the parking.
It's the part, it's the
Parking in the industrial zone. We want to bank the parking, but we need to amend the law.
the law to do it.
So I believe it is going to be advertised for a public hearing at the next town board meeting. So they met Monday night, so it'll be 2 weeks. And 2 weeks from then, they'll hold a public hearing. I wouldn't anticipate there's going to be any issue, right? But we're probably
4 weeks out.
But that law allows the planning board some discretion to approve it. To bank it.
To bank
So it doesn't have to go to the ZBA.
That's right.
In other words.
That's right.
It puts power back with us, which is good.
That's what we want, right? And we want more green space. We want project.
So I don't need to come back, it's just, you have to go through the process.
You have to go through the process with, have the town board, do the public hearing, have the public hearing.
Change the law.
Change the law, and then we'll approve it.
And we come back here, we get approval.
Yeah, you could,
Wait, I need to come back.
Well, technically, don't have.
technically don't have to be here, we just.
Gotta go through the steps.
Just gotta do
We'll notify you.
Okay, great.
Sorry, just asking, for the town board, should we expect to be present and present that to the public hearing? Does that track, or do they do that without?
It's really not project specific.
That's right.
Because it's related to the
It's
law.
a zoning law.
Okay.
So when is the town board meeting?
I mean, something specific
They
date.
met Monday night, so it's 2 weeks from Monday. And all they're gonna do is set up a public hearing.
Okay.
So it'll be just like the first thing we saw here. It'll be,
It should be February 13th, I think, is a Monday.
there'll be 5 minutes of them saying,
Yeah, it's a Saturday,
Actually, the 5th, 2 weeks from,
2 weeks.
it'll be February 5th.
But then the public meeting will be 2 weeks after that, so.
but it's not, it won't be specific to the project. It'll be in general,
Yeah, we adjourn.
general modification to municipal law. So it'll be municipal law. Probably number 1, right, Joe, of 2024?
Yeah.
Right. Whenever all these issues are, everybody's for it. And there should be a problem.
It's a definitely improvement of the property. Yeah, like I said, that building is gonna fall down, so.
You're gonna take down Eastwood Lumber, the old Eastwood glass.
Yeah.
And then, it's gonna be nine left.
Yeah, there's not enough parking for.
Is there anything special? I mean, what about moving forward with demolition? That's something you could do without the,
Was it good? Yeah, we had a good demolition.
we just get a demo permit, just get up a lot.
I think you want to.
You get going.
Where's that drainage going on the back?
Yeah, there's a drainage,
Go to the bottom and, yeah.
right here.
Yeah,
Well, there's more permeable area than there was before. More green space.
There's not permeable, but yes, there's more permeable.
Yeah.
Yes, more green space.
So where's the building under that you want to take down?
It's where we're.
Where the house is.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's right here with this.
Right.
This is very similar to the one we just saw. And Joe can confirm it, right? The building next door is in pretty bad shape. We take it down, clean up the building, dress up some landscaping, that'd be great.
Is the driveway apron on the back? I remember there was something weird about that little.
Finger thing is up there.
Is that a,
we're just adjusting that. There's no curb. It's all corroded and like
We're just butting into.
We're just adding the asphalt to clean it up and make this all flush and even with the existing road. It's really falling apart and in really bad poor shape back there, so just trying to clean it up and.
There was a water break back there a couple of years ago in Florida.
I'd go in and get a demo permit and demo the thing.
Okay.
Most you can do is screen it,
So how does, when I go to the building permit, the last time I went there, they said this, the planning board had to approve the project first.
What they do.
Yeah. So
Property.
is that the
Well,
case? or-
that's what's happening over at, we issued a demo permit over. This one,
80 days probably.
80 days prior, yeah, so we don't have an approval.
Yeah, we should be able to take it down.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So is there another step so the building department knows?
I'll just run that.
Kind of look up.
He's aware.
Talking at 6:30 in the morning.
Okay, great. Thank you.
The only thing I will be looking for, because it's a property up in front of us, is what's the cleanup process on it? What shape the ground is left in? Is there any runoff issues that could, really, that's all permanent. Really, stuff that was with all the answer.
Yeah, I just want to see somebody get hurt in that building.
Yeah.
It's vacant, their kids could be playing on there.
I'm not with you. I'd rather see
Yeah.
a clean piece of dirt.
Right.
I'm sorry, I think you're saying the big.
Jeff Parker. Okay.
Okay, up next is Delta Sonic.
How you doing?
Correct.
So I'm here to ask for reapproval of selling propane at our location, having a storage tank out front in the exact same spot. It was prior that it was approved for in 2017. Apparently, we did not have it on a drawing, and you requested it to be on the drawing and to come in here for approval, and that's why I'm here. Spoke with many people many a times, so I'm here. Going. So we have the C-store elevation here that was requested.
I gotta click out of it. Go back. There you go. Is there?
Okay, and we also have copies of this. So that's where it was before, that's where it would be. I also was there today earlier to take a picture because there is one change. Knowing the, when we remodeled the place, you know, we wanted our front building to be a little bit safer, so. And I believe you guys should already know this from Delta Sonic, and James from Benderson was here, and I didn't know that he was gonna be here. I would have just had him present this. So I took a picture. We installed 2 bollards also along with the concrete barrier that goes in front of that. And I'm sorry, I don't have it for there, but this was done after the fact. The concrete. Oh, sorry. My fault. So normally there's only a concrete barrier put in there for safety, but we decided because we knew we were gonna do it, you know, we took the propane tank out just for the construction. When we went to go back in, we found out it wasn't approved because it wasn't on the drawing. So that's why I resubmitted the drawing. Then we wanted. Sorry. So we resubmitted the drawing, and then in that area, we made sure we installed some safety bollards, just in case, right, for extra safety. To make sure the car doesn't drive into it.
What's the concrete?
That's what the Blue Rhino puts that in front of all their cages, and that's what makes them compliant. We just added that. And we added they were up, we did them all the way across the whole our store frontage. Because more and more people are driving into buildings, right? They're driving right into storefronts. So we wanted to avoid that right in our store, and that we were gonna have propane. So here it is, same spot, same corner of the building. We're just requesting to put the cage back there so we can resell propane. For some.
So this was approved, but it wasn't on the drawing, so this was.
2017, we approved it here.
with the guests.
Well, that was before the renovations. They just,
Correct.
this would have been some previous application. It must have been.
Right. We were selling it. We shut our store down and remodeled the C-store, which all that went through there. It wasn't on the drawings. So when the company went to get approval, I believe Blue Rhino, now I wasn't part of these back conversations. I am the Central New York Vice President, so I'm here representing the side. Actually, not the person who runs our convenience stores. He works for us. So when the store reopened up, we wanted to sell propane. We removed the cage and the tanks because of construction only. That was the only reason why that cage was taken off the property. But they need approval to their company to put it back on the property. And apparently, because it wasn't on the drawing that was submitted, we were denied.
It wasn't part of the.
Yeah, and I apologize, it's a mistake on our behalf. We didn't know. I also shop, our competitors, with car washing, they all sell. Some of your employees that work here actually purchase propane. Pass. Very nice. We appreciate the business.
I know a number of years ago, there was some corrective action taken. We had a gas station remove propane dispensary in the front. Yeah, because it's in the front face of the building and architecturally it wasn't appropriate. So that's a dilemma.
Yeah.
I don't like the mini Jersey barrier. I think is kind of tasteless too.
That's why it's called Jersey barrier.
But also too, I mean, this is a very busy, I mean, you're successful. It's a very busy area.
It's very interesting.
And is
now
it
you've
your
got a-
parking over at the side? So where would the people walk from the side parking?
There's parking in front of it.
But there's parking to the side too.
Yeah, there's enough space. There's a sidewalk there. All the way around.
But in the picture, if you put the gate and the propane in, I think you're taking up the
which is not-
walkway.
No, it's still over ADA compliant. I measured it. We measured it prior to it being there because it has to be ADA compliant or we can't put it there. We could be fine, right?
That's pretty wide, actually. The rhinos are very deep, right?
Yeah, just fits
Yeah.
two propane cages. Yeah.
There was talk of an ice machine too.
We had an ice machine out there. I mean, but if we have to submit for approval, then we have to do that as well.
Well, I think that came up on Tuesday's
That
meeting.
came out on Tuesday, but also we're going from, we think there's nothing out there to also there's propane, then there's ice.
Windshield and the
Words, windshield, things. like that.
windshield washer
It's
fluid.
it's a,
We don't have windshield water.
Yeah,
a show.
that was always brought up. We were saying like, what is out there? We didn't know.
We've always had an ice machine since day one we opened the place. I actually opened the place in 2000. I've been with the company 35 years. It's always been there. We've never removed it. It's been there since day one. And it's a plug-in in a 110 outlet. And we've always had enough space for, because we have to be ADA compliant. And we sold propane for years, since 2017, until we removed the tank, and we only removed the tank for, or the cage for safety reasons, because there was construction. And like, as I said, and I showed you this as well, that we installed bollards that are, in the ground, in concrete, they're steel bollards filled with concrete to ensure that it is safe up there.
So,
Let's further walk through that.
can we move it around to the side
The right side.
and not to the front of the building? Is there any reason it can't go there?
There's absolutely no reason, other than that, so the customers could see it. Or we could even put it on that angle, if you'd like, I'll show you, there's an angle there.
Put the corner, put the corner of the building.
Yeah, we could put it on that angle as well. So whatever you prefer, we will comply with it. We can all,
That sidewalk,
For on the side.
is that sidewalk wide enough?
I don't know, I'm gonna have to measure it out.
But I'm pretty sure that it is. We did look at it and we talked about putting it there. It's just not in the view of the customer.
I mean, you put so much time and effort into rehabbing, you know, the facade and facilities that
Nice.
I think it would be appropriate not to put it right directly. So.
Yeah, the
that'd be my
only
position.
reason is for customer convenience and so they can see it. That's the only.
But it looks like you do have parking stalls
On the right hand
that
side.
are on the right-hand side that would make it easy to pull right up to it and make the
I
transition.
just set it right back around.
And we do have bollards there as well, as you can see. We installed them all the way around because of all the people that have been driving into buildings. We want to be safe, right?
We just don't want to be cluttered.
I agree with that. We don't want that as well.
I think once you put the cage on the side, once people know you've got propane there, your customers will know right where to go. I know we always got our propane in one spot. Once we got our spot, that was it, so.
Okay.
Concept on the side, what we want.
Approved and put on the side.
Oh, are we, is this a,
Well, I think we need to see it in a drawing.
Need to see it on a site plan
Okay,
and shown, because this is only for concept right now.
Yeah.
So, concept.
okay.
Yeah.
So I'll be coming back here, or do I just need to send it to you?
Probably need to come back with it. So
comes
just-
for a vote?
It's gonna come for a vote then, not tonight,
Okay,
because we can't vote on tonight.
okay, sure.
And then if there's anything else that's going, that you, I think you're doing or trying to do, get it on drawing.
Sure,
That's that way, it's once.
absolutely.
Because the
Apologize.
not so shown on there either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said,
Yeah.
you know, we didn't know, you know,
Yep.
apparently the architect that did the drawing or, you know, the engineer wasn't aware of it and it got missed and we apologize and that's why we're here.
We can't approve what we can't see, so,
Okay,
yeah, just get it on a drawing where you want it and get it,
just put it on a drawing and bring it back here, get it, the same process, get it on the thumb drives and all that. I'll drop them off the next time I do a visit here. We'll get back on there and then I'll come back. Okay.
So it would be, if you could do it, I think, just so you know the dates, I think you'd have to have the drawings in by 2 weeks from now, right?
Sure.
Within 2 weeks.
I'll be emailing, I'll be sending some notifications as soon as I get to the car.
Yeah.
Trust me, I get stuff done.
Exactly.
Well, we can tell you the date.
Yeah,
For our next meeting, which would be that on February eighth, if I'm not mistaken, 6th or 8th.
well, they're not, in
Track
track-
B, that's-
they're track B, so I just know it's about a month.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then, yes, you would fall on our track B system, it's the 4th Thursday for February. As
Fourth
long,
Thursday?
yep, as long as I have your updates, let me just pull up.
I'll drop them off next week.
By February, I would need your drawings by February 8th for you to be considered for the next.
Okay, and what is the date of the meeting?
The meeting would fall February 22nd.
Seven PM again.
Yep.
Can I ask for a request? I live about 180 miles from here. Do you think I could be on because I work all day and it's a long drive?
Be on Zoom.
Zoom.
You're on Zoom right in.
Oh,
You don't-
I just wanted, I live.
You just
in
want
a
to
re-
be up close to the front.
Yeah, I live in a rocky
yeah.
with internet and I didn't want to play that game with you guys, you know what I mean? So I drove here, but if I could be one of the first few on the schedule, it would help me out with my drive. That's all.
To get drawings in early.
Look, if I'm number 10, I'll still be here.
So we hope to have a simple response.
Because I'm coming from Niagara County, about 90 miles.
Well, that's
Yeah.
a drive.
And I'm sorry, can I just have you take me around your place?
Yeah.
Well, I'm also home. I'm already home now.
I did one downstate, 3 hour drive down. I don't even get how to do these. My work, started at 2.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Take care,
Betsy.
everybody. Have a safe night.
2 hours. Oh, did I?
No drive.
Forever. Then I drive for 3 hours.
This crazy stuff. Don't you have employees? Like, no delegating function? No.
It's funny about that, so.
You can start training some. You're gonna take over the business. Train.
All right, Alex.
I know it. I was last in Webster or 2 days ago. Yeah, I know it.
Can you give me your name again?
So I represent ONX, so Robert Trafford is on the line listening. He may interject if I step on my toes. I'm sure Robert will straighten me out. We are here for our first formal presentation. We did talk about this before the holidays during a overall update to the renovation that Robert has been undertaking here at I still call it the previous New Venture Gear property, in which Robert has been engaged for, gosh, almost 10 years now, right? Doing various improvements and revitalizing that entire facility. He is at 80%, close to 90% occupancy now of the of that facility. He is completing the construction of our last go around over a year ago on what we call Suite 400 and 450. As such, in the continuum of the improvements of that facility, there has been continued interest into Robert's path, and it's had the architects and us take a look at a next phase, a new development phase. Look ahead, John. Oh, by the way, it's my colleague, John Bissett, he's been working with me on this in the office. So everyone can be somewhat familiar. The ONX facility, the first phase of this was the FedEx facility on the corner, which has long been since subdivided out. The New Venture Gear piece being all of this, and the old building that most of that was raised. And now this piece, which is the Pepsi facility, is interplayed. Go ahead, keep clicking. We've got a bunch of overlays on this. FedEx, Pepsi, Suite 400, 450. The access drive, which gets into the tractor trailer, cold and hot storage areas. And then this particular development, which we're going to talk about now, which is what was formerly the racetrack, or the track for the testing the vehicles for the transmissions. Somewhat the land surface type has always been at question, but it's, you know, not pure grass, but not asphalt either. So go ahead, John, go to the next one. So now we're going to take a look at this in an overlay sense, and what we've been tracking this is as Robert's been industrially subdividing that over 1 million square feet of space into different suites, in which he has suites 100 through 180, and he has various tenants in that space. Suite 210, which is Nicana, and then the suite 400 and 450 area, which is the new building piece that is now up and operational. And now this particular application for what we're calling Suite 500, which would be south of Nicana, into that racetrack or that track area, of which the total square footage is approximately 360 square feet. The intended use of that would be food grade cold storage, freezer refrigerator warehouse.
330,000 square feet or 330 square feet?
360,000.
No, you said, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You said 360.
You said 360 square
Are you
feet.
trying to make the switches?
I'm gonna put that K at the end. Didn't I tell you I had a long week already? What day is it? Now you got them. 360,000.
I take offense, you say it was not good grass. I want grass there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's over asphalt. It's gotta be good.
Yeah, it's been growing like crazy.
That's the one.
Go ahead.
So again, we got some fly-ins here on the graphic of what we're trying to do here and the development piece of this. So the application now falls into our realm of the site engineering piece, in which we've got the existing condition survey and the topographic conditions, taking a look at what's happening. Of importance to us is how the stormwater works and how it worked formally with regards to all of the facilities of New Venture Gear and how that stormwater was collected and diverted and into different catchment areas and into a ponding system off to the west side of the facility, of which we have updated the analysis of both the water quality basin and the water quantity basin. More recently, midsummer, Robert and his team has re-dredged and reshaped those facilities over the years, just like any storm catchment areas, silted in and had its lost some of those capacities, of which now been reestablished. Regardless of that, when we take a look at now this proposed project and we say, well, there was some type of curve number, which is our term, but surface type and surface infiltration, an impervious roof and impervious areas are going to have a higher rate of runoff, and as such, new stormwater applications are going to be proposed for this development piece. So as such, in a layout sense, this becomes that new facility, still warehouse rectangular shape. Stouffer Architects has been involved as they were on the Suite 400. When we look at the appearance of this is going to be similar type of material and coloration that has occurred for Suite 400, 450. And as that Robert has been trying to upgrade and blend this entire facility with that same type of treatments.
Pictures of the Suite 400 with you?
No.
Just okay.
I can,
I'm just trying to get to the good stuff.
I know that's what you guys go. I see, I'm just a dirt guy, so me and Joe get along.
500 or 500.
The 400 and 450, that just was considered,
That's being finished.
just being finished now.
Concept.
Yeah, and it's gonna be very similar type of banding and different colorations of that material. But I certainly, we can provide that to you certainly, and
What's this do to your coverage? Numbers, we're industrial here.
we're industrial.
Yeah,
Yes,
so we're near max coverage on this thing
so
with this going in there.
when we look at where we are, you remember what those numbers were? We're just under what is required. We're not meeting that lot coverage.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
is
so
a
this is
significant
gonna take us to max.
Yes.
Max build out.
Yes, when we take a look, especially building and impervious lot coverage, we're at the edge.
What type of building heights are you looking at for this compared to them? The main preliminaries?
I believe it was around 30 feet.
I just think this, to me, this is a great opportunity to remove the visual clutter of all the trucks that back up against that side of the building. Lock up that end of the site with a piece of architecture.
Right.
And I'd like to see it go, that last piece be more vertically oriented, just like the far end on the right is.
Right.
And it becomes the barbell to the low guy, then we can add screening, part of this will be looking at screening up the roadside there to kind of hide that middle low zone, because we're really looking down on just roofs down in there.
Sure.
As we go by, so that's.
I don't know, Robert, do you want to unmute and kind of talk about more of that building piece than I had?
Think about it for about a large, over 30,000 foot scenario as to what I'd be.
And I think what we talked about the other day was if we could take that and morph it into the high tech just below it.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
I think a lot of it already does, right? And I think we talked about the FedEx being.
We got the
one
FedEx
end.
one end, and we're gonna have the TTM thing at the other end, and this is the
Sure.
nice new thing that kind of locks up the generic low thing on the in between. I think.
Right, and as you head north on Fly Road, I mean, at this point, we're just about a grade, but you keep going up and you're
Yeah.
sitting up a lot higher
Yeah,
as you approach the signal, as you go north.
Yeah, we drove by it and just, it's an opportunity there to have a nice sort of look into this.
Right, and there's, with that sloping opportunity and this, Doug and I briefly talked about, there's good landscaping opportunities along this edge to help that screening as well. And, whatever happens along that facade piece can really enhance what's happening.
Yeah, I think a great opportunity to have that has to be a facade piece. And then screen the old slow stuff in the middle that we're looking at in a clustered kind of concept. And then your eye goes to the other tall one and then right up to the FedEx building. I
Absolutely.
think it's a,
Yeah, get a nice blend in there and just make that all
Is there any way any of us can, is anybody here on the Zoom, we could share screen and just, when we looked the other day, I think it wonders, right? Look at the street view.
we drove the street down.
Yeah, when you look at the street view, I mean, the whole thing's below grade. But everybody talked about, I know it's a great
We
opportunity.
can unplug and you guys can get Google Street View up. Or I can do it next time.
I mean, that is the lowest. That is the lowest part of the land in terms of the ratio to the grade. It's the highest. Fly Road is the highest point at that point.
It escaped.
Yeah, and show. Not minimize.
And now go to
Go to
Google.
Google. Google Earth probably, right?
Yeah, you on Google Earth? Yeah. Right there, second one down. Here we go. Keep
Okay.
going, down.
I saw you were one down now. Here.
No, you want Earth.
It's fine on Google Maps too.
Oh, will it work?
That's great too. It's
Yeah.
a perfect job.
If they don't.
You're not gonna be able to type.
Yeah, it's really crest is about 2/3 the way down and south.
Which purchasing something, do you need it? Something?
Yeah, there's no, I went to the location to take a picture of that, so I had that prepared and ready.
Get Earth up, so yeah. here we
It's
go.
not enough, so it can only be on. It's a big construction project to open that parking lot up, approvals just for that.
Let's get it straight up first. Okay.
We have a detail shots in the back.
You're right. It's right there.
Yeah. Well, he might, he's drafting. Now.
Here we go. Here we go. Get the same thing.
It will be in front of all of that then.
Yeah, but the screen would be
great.
right up on this highest point, and then also this becomes in essence, a park-like scenario coming down Fly Road. Now, this mess that sits in the back here goes away visually to the public, which is a great move. And if the building can sit in there and then have a vertical element just to stop the long, low run.
All right, so this is where she's going. There's our roof line. And if we go a little further south, it even shows where that grade kind of meets. All right, there we go. So plus or minus, that tree line becomes the southern limit of that development piece.
And that's a nice mature.
Is that your tree line?
What's that?
Is that your tree line or is that the neighbors? I think it's Verizon next to it.
There's a grade drop right at that point, so it might be on Verizon's property.
Properties.
Yeah. So again, if we start to spin that visual impact.
That's where is that zone?
Yeah, that's, they have that.
Your national grid now.
Yeah, I think it's their tree.
Sure, that's close to it.
But yeah, that once we start heading north, that drop off is significant.
Yep.
And really you kind of see the projection of what that roof line would be as we push this way.
Yeah,
So we're saying to make it
Yeah, make it
higher.
higher there.
Make it even a little bit higher there.
I
Or at least a portion of
The
it.
portion of it does.
Right. Well, and I
It
think,
becomes an anchor.
you know, with regards to what Mr. Trafford is trying to do, that certainly is an opportunity. And he's kind of looking at, he was looking at a bi-level storage for that warehouse, and certainly we'll take a look at what that height has to be to make that happen.
I think it's an opportunity.
We're looking at 60 feet,
Yeah.
Matt,
Okay,
because my request for, or, you know, my demand is requiring about 500,000 or 600,000 square feet. So I've doubled it up in order to not get the coverage and, you know, get the cubic footage that we need for the logistics. So we're talking about a 60-foot clear height building, which is about double what's there now.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
In terms of landscaping along Fly Road, I'm happy to do that because, you know, I've got some erosion happening up there that I need to kind of address anyway. So having a root system along the top of Fly Road with some trees or something would probably be in our best interest anyway.
Do you need that? I mean, that fence is shot, so do you need a barbed wire security fence? Because
yeah, Robert, we're looking at the Google Earth Street View, and we're sitting just about where the road would intersect, and we got that old chain link fence with three strand razor wire on top.
Yeah, the razor wire is for you, Matt.
Perfect.
No, we haven't touched what's there, so I don't have any problem making
Yeah, we'll
changes.
start with the scenic route.
I can take it.
yeah, I think that should be that should be.
Yeah, we can definitely take a look at that, clean that whole thing up, and, you know, that'll even enhance the scrub that can't be maintained anyway.
Yeah.
So there's
That's what I'm reacting.
There's a drive apron and a drive lane, right? I saw on your plan. Is that just a service
That's what I mean.
or is that a?
We do not want that
Yeah,
for trucks, but
no, that's-
potentially as a fire route and potentially as some of the employees, just POV vehicles, not truck vehicles. If you look at how you get here for that, and when we pull up the site plan again, for this particular building, it's a long way from New Venture Gear Drive. And frankly, as a site designer, even that we're doing better with that truck route, the segregation between trucks and POV vehicles is something that I always, as a safety concern, wanna try to concentrate on, so we don't have those conflicts of big guys versus little vehicles.
Yep.
So, as Robert said, and frankly, you know, over the course of time, and again, my focus tends to be on the dirt stuff and the stormwater and the utility connection, and Soper Architects has been working with Robert closer on that building piece. But that 60-foot height is part of the plan, I guess.
Yep,
So,
that's great. We'll just look at what that little section of it looks like as a transition from.
And is there anything happening to that existing building frontage as part of this build out? Or are you leaving that alone?
well, I think there's a continuum of improvements that are occurring across the entire piece. And including if we go all the way, let's go back to this, I'm sorry, Jim, or John. What is that? Slideshow start.
Matt, I'm not sure what pictures you could see, you know, what age those are, but all of that along Fly Road, everything has been painted. So it's all in the entire site is in the same color scheme as FedEx and Pepsi and the 400 building. It's all the same color scheme, the entire property.
I think it's all like a brown earth tone.
Yeah, it's a brown earth tone and different things, and I don't know, when you're saying frontage piece, Doug, were you talking about?
Fly Road, yeah.
Oh, right along Fly Road, okay.
Let's talk about that little bit.
Is that,
Yeah.
that's all like a tilt up precast?
That's part of the old existing building.
What ducks are on that end, they're taking away. It's
And
just.
so it's been, fresh painted, but not, no facade elements really.
It looks like it's a brick, the low guy right there in the middle, is that a brick structure? Or is it a vertical sided thing? Looks like it's vertical sided here. We're doing flyby on it right now, so.
I can't go back to that.
Yeah, it's the.
On the,
That's what I thought.
the gray one,
Tilt up precast or something.
on the
There we
gray
go.
one,
No, on the one right here, the brownish reddish one there.
so where, like this one facing the road?
The tall block, yeah, that right there.
Okay. Or the
Yeah, it
one way
looks
down
like,
there?
like it's a metal panel, like it's a rib.
You keep saying, yeah, right there, look at the screen up here.
In here.
Yeah, but look up here.
Over to the right.
This
area here.
That's metal panel as you go up.
Yeah, Robert, I don't think this is tilt up construction. This is-
No, that building, I believe it's a concrete knee wall to about 4 feet, and then it's steel above the concrete. We're talking about the original building
Yeah.
Yeah,
along Nicana. That's all Nicana. That's, yeah, about 4 feet of concrete, and then the rest is steel up to about 24 feet, 25 feet. So it's all steel and steel siding, insulated siding panel on top of a concrete knee wall.
It's like, yeah, because there's a water.
The new building would be the Kingspan wall panels like we just did the 400 building.
just gave the CO for the 400 building. We did water through, if any. Years of work in it. We used to walk in and get my 12 going, and cuts and everything. Everything's clean, crisp, concrete floors. I mean, you just sit there. And I can't even believe it's the same place. It is a warehouse, but yeah, right.
Yeah, all clear, span, all, you know, see forever.
Well, to me, these types of buildings are built metal panel sided. I'm doing one in Canada right now, and they needed to look with the way of handling to look and keep the price point the same. So it's a game on how you handle the types of panels, the type of patterns of the panels, what you do with them, what you add to them. And not just have a blank metal box out there, because I'm not looking for a blank metal box, even though it's industrial, it's right on the neighbor of the high tech, so. Gotta give it a little bit of lipstick on it.
Yeah, we had put a band and windows at the top of the wall panel.
Yeah, if you look at how those. how the
But
panels-
much like what we did at the 400 building, you know, with the bands and the windows that you can see from Fly Road, we would be doing that again on this building.
We do have very rough, old-fashioned Stouffer elevations of that without the nice rendering pieces, but that does show that 60-foot height.
Do you have his drawings?
Yeah, I've got A201 up right now, Robert.
Yes, they're not great, but I wish it showed the perspective from Fly Road, but it is what it is. When you don't pay your architect's bills, this is what you get.
Yeah, we do have the east elevation on Fly Road with the mid-span banding that you were talking about.
Right.
Let's start.
So it's a start, and I guess, you know, what we would like and over the course of time and with Robert, we're certainly aggressive and looking to keep moving forward with building program and stuff. So I guess anything we can do at this level and, you know, with proper direction to keep this moving forward. And whatever this board can do to help us, we would look forward to that. Understanding this came in as a first stage level, as a concept, but at the same time, you know, as the day went along, Robert texted me a couple of times, and we're gonna get approval tonight, right, Matt? So, but again, we're at that point of, okay, give us those bullet points so we can hit those and get back to you as fast as we can. We're sitting here in January 25th, and the same type of things. You know, it's January 25th, but it's 45 degrees today. So, you know, I don't know what the climate change or whatever the world's doing, but it's not like even 10 years ago when, you know, it was 5 below on January 25th. So we would look to be aggressively moving forward to be in real good position, early spring timeframe to hit the ground and start pouring foundation.
Yeah, because construction crews are on site in the morning.
So I mean, this is gonna have a significant site review
Big, yeah.
for stormwater and all that sort of good stuff. So that's, I mean, I think that's your critical path.
I think the other thing is you gotta tell us, you know, what's the lot coverage and where are we now?
Yeah, you'll get,
You know, those hard numbers.
you get the real numbers. We can just check all the right boxes off on those things, find out if there's anything hiding in there. I think from a point of view of building massing and stuff, you're going down the right path, and we just gotta start looking at what it really looks like.
If we find out where we are in the lot coverage and whatnot, then we can talk to Jamie to see, you know, is it doable? Is it, you know, where's it gotta go next?
Right.
Well, and the tricky part about this is, as we talked about on the work session before the holidays, is for Robert's financing piece. He's trying to deal with different sections of this overall lot, and that also would affect those calculations. So I think that's where we're getting Jamie involved with how we can work that into the calculations and into what those numbers fall into.
So is this area not part of the overall lot? They're not combined?
Where did we end up, Robert? You gotta help me out because I fell out.
We're contiguous. It's a contiguous building.
Okay.
It's a contiguous building, and I believe we've got the ratios on hand with the property. You'll have to do the numbers and double check my math, because my math likes what I want to do. But then we also have acquired the 32 acres adjacent. So how can we utilize the overall footprint of the 150 acres that we have now? How do we get an overall site plan? I don't want to get into the residential component of what we project to do on that additional acreage next door. I can't get there yet, because I've got to get this building handled first, because the demand is there and the deal is there to be made. And I need to move forward with confidence that I can go strike those deals. So let's figure out what the actual ratios are, and make sure that we comply. And if we need help from the 32 acres, then let's figure out how we can work with the town to make that work.
Probably want to subdivide that up and.
Well, yeah, let's, like Rob said, let us run those calcs.
Yeah, run the numbers.
Let's get tight on those things, and then we'll know exactly where we stand and where we need to. But I think the messaging here from Robert is there is some opportunities to balance some of that especially if we're close. So we will jump on that and take care of that piece. Stormwater, we're close to having a complete SWIP for Doug and the team. I don't know if Mark is still gonna do those reviews. So that we're, days within making that. Now, far as, let's get into your guys' world and Stouffer's world, as far as what you want to see on Fly Road, on a rendering or visual impact sense. And are we only looking at that east profile, or are we talking, do we want to, how do we want to address those architectural elements? So tomorrow morning I can talk to those guys in Stouffer and say, this is what we need to get to this level with you guys.
I think whatever you do in terms of rendering and presentation, I think it would be helpful to have the entire elevation of the building, not just the addition. But definitely build in
Shows the scale.
context of
The scale and how it relates to the rest of your site. Because it's actually a site.
I'd even throw that, somehow get, if it's on the elevation rendering, the idea that there's that rise in the landform of the road there that shows the relationship between the
Oh,
building.
yeah, I think
Otherwise,
that
everything's magically on a flat plane and it's.
build some of the
not what
topo
we
into
see.
there. Your site guy, get the topo.
Well, yeah, we're talking really kind of getting into a SketchUp type of scenario, like where
Yeah.
you're at, let's run a SketchUp on it And,
Yeah,
you know,
so-
interplay that, topographic condition into what the elevation, that site elevation would be.
If you could just do a drive-by, just like the Google Maps, what left will be, make will be fine. Make it the same.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's got it,
We've got it finished over here.
it takes some time.
Go go beep, beep.
I think the main thing is we gotta look at spot coverage too, before you start spending too much money.
No, and that'll be my first step.
Yeah.
Is that, you know, actually, John's first step in the morning is to work at it. But yeah, no, and again, that's kind of why, you know, short of jumping into a working session and getting some of these things hammered out, because I think we, you know, we often, through our years of working with everybody, a lot gets done during those work sessions, and that gets us on the right track before we, you know, get a final sign off.
I mean, after this, there's not much left to build on this site.
Right.
Right.
Well, and that's why he did that acquisition piece as well, so,
Yeah, because I think I consider this a full build out at this.
yeah.
This,
But I think that was some of Jamie's questions, wasn't it? Whether it was contiguous to this.
yeah, she went, what the question was it contiguous? We thought it was for the extra parcel. If there would have to be some negotiating of land
Okay.
to make it work, and if it is contiguous.
Yeah, it's contiguous right now from our Alta survey, we are within the contiguous property.
So that they touch somewhere there, so. That's your saving grace.
Right.
All right, I don't have any other, I think the architectural impact for us is gonna be the Fly Road side.
Flyer side.
You know, I put the money and effort into the panel design there.
Yeah, just rudimentary math, Matt. It's about 2 million square feet of building and tarmac and about 5 million square feet of land. That's just really rough math. 5.5 million square feet of land and about 2 million square feet of building and tarmac. You'll do the calculations.
What's your lot coverage? Higher than that. Yeah, it's like 80% or something like that, so it's it's not over the range. So,
Let,
yeah,
I'll
run the numbers for real.
let's say yes. But look, yeah, even if he's off by a little bit.
Yeah. It looks pretty full here, with the aerials look pretty full. There's a whole bunch of green, you know, it's all.
Well, yeah, certainly. Take a look at that.
Right, I say, keep going forward, I think you can find a lot of support for this here. These are the big, to me, these are the big visual mess of it.
Well, and, you know, I think architecturally, then I think as well, landscaping wise, along that flyover side is gonna be a great enhancement to get it. Rob and I will talk about what type of security fencing. Sleep in, like, down, like that. That would be great too.
But Matt, what is the general philosophy about landscaping along Fly Road? What do you want to see? Do you want to see Jolly Green Giants, or do you want to see something more ornamental, like the cherry trees or something?
Screen the big flat roof.
Yeah, so, and I think there's an opportunity here to mold the land that you need to move around a little, so it's just, hey, there's a line of grass right now, you plunk some trees in it, hey, there's our street trees, that's a wrong
And
answer.
then there is a balance, there is some plateau area, and then there's also some areas right at the curb line. It drops down, so you can't burn that area.
Yeah,
But
no,
then
I
we
think
can certainly.
I think a series of.
Right,
anything that
little
breaks
breaks.
that breaks the rhythm
Right.
down that big long expansive building.
Yeah.
Like, you know, clean up those guys, then.
Yeah.
I think it's a home run.
We'll work up something, Robert, and we'll send it along to you today or two.
Okay, yes, I was going to order the trees right now, but I'll wait till more.
Well,
24 caliber,
yeah. Some,
it's a blast.
Bob, can I go over? All right.
Wasn't rolling was the worst of that.
What do we
You
do?
know her, wasn't rolling.
Right.
We moved some big trees.
All right. All right, guys, thanks for having us tonight.
Thank you.
I have puppies at home, mister.
So, we get Dr. Delta sign.
Yeah, he So I take it, we'll just bring that up for 2 seconds, so you have no room on the right side of that building.
Yeah, I drove back and, you know, because I wanted to get this thing up and rolling, like I said, right away. And I noticed right away that there wasn't room. I didn't take a picture of it, because I wanted to make sure I came back here. Like I said, I live a long ways away and I didn't want to come back in 2 weeks and tie this thing up any longer. I do want to reiterate, and hopefully we'll take some consideration to the original plan that I submitted. It was there, it had been there. Our gas stations, believe it or not, and I don't have numbers here to prove it, are no busier than any other gas station. There are businesses up and down the road that currently have it. It was already there. And I would just ask that it just be reconsidered. I mean, that's all. And we did add some extra safety measures. And we did ask for nicer tank that were painted nicely. We don't like anything poor looking in front of our buildings. And we've been through a long process after, you know, we were told we couldn't put it out there. And we complied with it, and we did the paperwork and the work to come in here. So I'm just asking for reconsideration before I drive and go back to the drawing board.
Suggestion that might help, you make a nicer cage.
Yeah, I'll ask for a nicer cage, you know, we'll make sure it's not no ugly rusty cage. We'll ask for the
A
nicer.
different looking cage.
They don't have different, they have, sometimes they'll drop less than par cages off, and we always ask them that we want new looking cages that are elegant, right? You see some of them, they look terrible, they're rusted.
Right, well, then could you screen the cage? But still make it a rhino, right, if that might
Yeah,
make people
Well,
more.
I'm wondering,
The window line?
what's the sign?
They make a horizontal cage instead of this vertical rack, so it's not buttoned up in front of your windows.
it's not in the window, it's on a concrete, it's
Oh, I know,
against
but
a
the-
concrete.
I'm looking at the one.
You can't put it in front of a window, they won't allow it. It's actually put,
Well, you had one in front of the
Window
window.
before, yeah.
no,
I'm looking
We
at it right now.
we have it in the picture.
oh, we moved it, it went to the concrete area. Yeah,
So move over to the right-hand side.
yes, I'm sorry,
So we're gonna need a drawing, an elevation, and a drawing.
we have
everything.
that, that's what I brought
That's
with
what
it, and that's exactly what. I brought.
That's what we.
No, but I'm not sure if that really accurately represented it. I mean, I don't really know what the thing looks like. I think some pictures would be helpful to show. You need to show the freezer on there too, because that's not shown.
Well, the freezer is not there.
But you said you're gonna put it there.
No, the freezer's always been out there. We've never moved it. It's on the other side of the building.
It needs to be on the approved drawings.
Okay, I can put that in the drawings and
But
I can
also,
send that to
does
you,
the
but
run-
it's never been moved.
Right.
That wasn't a safety issue. The
This-
propane was during the construction.
Does the Rhino stuff have signage on it as well?
I think they said rhino, half of it.
They just have a small
Small
sign that tells you how much they stand.
It's a huge branding thing.
But we don't have to have the sign on there. If you don't want the sign on there, we can put the sign inside. That doesn't have to be on the cage.
Where's the ice machine?
I didn't focus on that, but I believe it's on the left-hand side of the store.
Cause that's not on the drawing either.
Right, we did it. I just found it. I promise I'll have them. You know, it wasn't on there and
How much room are you short? How much room do you need?
it's way too short. It's not even.
How wide is the container? What's the size of the container?
The container, it's about the width of this, and then there's gotta be ADA compliance or they won't put it down either, right? Because then there could be a second, party that is responsible for that. It's gonna be, right where it was initially removed. In front of that brick, you can't put it in front of a window. And that's probably why it was moved there, right? Maybe they moved it, I don't know. Or maybe it was just moved for construction purposes where you got that picture, I don't know. Great. I can't answer that question right now.
And there was this picture has a dumpster on site.
Yeah, so it was probably just moved out of the way, is what it was, because they were, there was construction there and we were waiting for it to get picked up. We've always sold it.
Well,
It's always been there.
again, I appreciate that. I think from a precedent point of view, it's it's something we've been avoiding, putting it on the front. And you may have had it in place at a time when that was something that was considered, but it's something considered now. So that's my position.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering.
and we did install the safety bollards, though. Like I said, they're additional. At the time, that Jersey barrier was never moved. That's all that was required. That's all that was in front of it. So we did
We
add
wouldn't have, I
additional.
don't think we would have approved the Jersey barrier though, is
Yeah.
what we're saying. We're not so concerned, we are concerned about safety, but that's part of the code is safety around the gas.
Right.
We're concerned with the image and the look at a facility that is, you know, very, very much the front of a huge facility.
I'm a location and a good looking
Yeah.
facility for what the psychology is, and then things get littered in front of it, it just starts.
It is a retail store, though, convenience store, and they do sell propane. It's a normal thing. You know, it's not like we're not asking to do something other retailers aren't doing. I mean, and look, I respect everybody here. You know, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. You know, we're just trying to.
I think we're kind of putting it back on you is that to find a location that's not on the front and come back to the board and present the outcome. That's really all we can do right now.
Or a more.
Well, I mean, if it was part of the architecture, it was built into the building, if there was a recess in the wall, I don't know if you can even do that, but it was kind of integrated. If it was integrated into the building, I mean, I think that would go a long way. But it's more.
That's why I'm back here though, because the back part of the building is our detail shop. The left side is our car wash and the exit of our detail shop. That's our only option. Put it, surrounded brick. Or on that angle.
On the detail overhang thing that comes out with the canopies, you do a little brick box in there, rotate it 90 degrees, stick it in from the
The
side.
customers can't walk across there. It won't be safe for them.
On the outside, on the outside of it.
That's not a customer walking. You know, the customer grabs the propane.
We don't see where you are.
I'm saying about
back in-
a floating,
I'm
you're
back-
talking about a floating.
Yeah.
It's just kind of floating on the side.
The line of this here.
Facing inward, not outward.
We got correct pictures of our location. If you, when you.
I mean, if you could make that fit, I mean, that could be.
And that could kind of block off the people who sit outside too, and it would kind of protect them from like, say, somebody who is not paying attention, trying to get around the people who drive off to go to get gas and not get by them. Because it gets a little, you can say that you're not more busy than other places, but
Well, the part
that,
is.
yeah.
Our convenience stores,
That
our
place.
volume compared to other people's volume is really, we're below the average.
Yeah, because I don't want to get out of my car. I pay you enough at the car wash.
Well, we even let them in the store, that's why.
Now I don't want to get out of my car. It's too crazy there. I'm gonna get run over. I have something against it. Like just pulling out without telling.
I know,
Yeah, I won't even.
never got that.
That's why we count.
You didn't keep them, though. They pulled out of the one in.
Did they make
Clay?
a move to go
No,
into somebody
it's
else's?
outside in all three of our locations, including the red, still have to.
Right, but they pulled out of the hospital and left us kind of stranded with
pulled out
no
of
food for the, yeah. No food for the people overnight in the children's hospital. We just didn't show up the next day.
That's why I was, I thought you had guessed.
It was awful.
No, it's.
It was awful for people in the hospital, like those poor parents that are there overnight. Not against you.
I'm sorry. Well, we're sorry too, but we asked them, we can stay, they allow us to stay, because we have Tim Hortons in Buffalo. So we were allowed to keep, and we had to go support them.
Yeah,
It's us.
yeah, I don't know what,
And I,
yeah, I invite them.
I'm sorry. So I'm trying to figure
I
this out.
have to go.
So can we, I think you're gonna need to come back with some ideas.
Yeah.
And a drawing that shows it up here, because as I go back to the years here, you had all kinds of stuff littered across the front of this little. The silver thing, the blue thing, everything down the other end.
There has been windshield washers. But I have got out of my car for that because they were just like.
Christmas Eve, we don't.
There is something.
If somebody did it, it was only waiting to go in the store, it was delivered. We don't display out front because we close at 9. We never display out front. I know for a fact.
Yeah.
So.
So like he's saying, you know, that seating area that you have outside of where,
Can't go there.
no, he's saying put it outside of the seating area facing back towards the building. So it was like hidden. We're not in, I know that they want it to be prominently displayed for people to see, but that's exactly what we don't want.
No, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
If we can get it there,
Mhm.
but we gotta be able to get it there,
Right.
have it be safe and have the customer walk it.
Right,
That's illegal.
yeah, so then I was saying have it.
That's why I
face
came
back
back, because of the right side, we
Yeah.
didn't have the room, because I would have just moved it.
all the way down the right side. You don't need the sidewalk really. If you put it at the last parking spot on the right side. You know what I mean?
Oh, what about that island
Yeah,
down at the very end?
all the way down. Put it there,
What do you mean? I didn't get the-
right there, that dark. island. Put it right there, adjacent to that, and then,
That is, but there I would have to do bollards on both sides because of the traffic. But as she said, I could probably put it there, and are you okay with that if I have it put there and I come back?
All the way down the right hand side.
that
right
could be an
right.
option, so.
Sure,
Yeah,
and you guys are
that's what
working with me and I appreciate that.
At the end of
And
the
I appreciate
sidewalk.
you taking it
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, right down here.
Okay, so what I'll do is.
Towards the sidewalk too.
Yeah.
Perpendicular to the building.
Yeah, perpendicular.
Yeah.
Yeah, face your board.
Yeah,
back
because
there.
No, no, I won't have it face area because then I gotta put a safety thing on the back.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll put it here. If I do have to put it here,
Right.
I'll install bollards.
Yeah.
So sidewalk go across the here or somewhere.
Just ends.
So it just ends there.
Sidewalk.
Does anybody get out of the car back there anymore and walk up front, or do they usually sit in the car? Cause when you get out of your car, if you're getting the interior, you can see how much you're here.
Yeah.
You come into the building, you
Right
don't
here.
usually walk all the way.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So you're correct. You
Yeah.
enter here.
Yeah.
and then you're all set.
I'm
gonna get mad.
You are correct, and it is a better choice, and thank you for
Yeah.
bringing that up. Thank you. Tim.
Yeah,
you.
that's the way to go.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the drawings, I'll drop them off on this.
Yeah.
I'll get back on the schedule for the date she said, and I'll come back in here and I'll bring you some work copy.
You don't have to do that.
I'm only kidding, I know, I'm just saying, I'm just.
I'm big water. This is water.
So I have it hard, no ice machine out front.
No ice machine.
So I gotta pull the ice machine, or do I just show
down
that,
there?
do I show that on the drive?
You show it on what?
Or just show the, because everybody has, on every convenience. store, another machine.
You're
I'll look at the best.
You don't want anything in the front of this building.
He's very.
So you want that on the side
I
as
put
well?
the- I make it nice little, that's your self-service zone down
You don't
there.
want something in front of the building.
Yeah.
You don't want it.
Ice machines are not self-service.
No, they are.
They are.
Reach in and grab it.
Grab a bag, just, it's.
Still do that.
Look, honor.
I do need some clarification on this, because I'm gonna be questioned.
That's
But I have to, every convenience store in New York City has an ice machine out front of the building. Every convenience store. Everybody sells ice and that's where their ice machine is.
And you can't put it inside.
No, that's not like that. So that it's.
Well, all refrigerators do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we put it down at the end. Right down there, I mean, the ice machine is, it can be anywhere in that specific area. That he is spinning around. You know,
We just, it's always, we can't just have that on the drawing and count it there. It's always been.
See, here's the thing, if it came in on a drawing like it's supposed to.
We would say
it
no.
wouldn't Be there.
And the
Right.
fact that it wasn't on there tells us it wasn't going back. I mean, that's the way that we interpreted the drawings, there wasn't gonna go back. So
I understand.
So
I don't think they knew.
You know, the irony is that I think that most of your patrons see that side of the building more than they see the front.
Yeah, I think actually,
While they're waiting.
yeah. Hey, they got propane.
They got, yeah,
Yeah, they will be,
what else do you wanna put
they
there?
will be very.
Because when they leave, they go out that way, and you don't see
So
them.
let me ask you a question.
No, that's not.
Let me ask you a question. Can we put the ice machine where we were gonna put the propane?
At the
At
corner,
the front,
At the corner.
at the brick.
Well, you could put it closer to the corner, but I think it still needs to be on that side.
Right. Would you be happy and I can have them put it on that?
it won't, because you said it was too,
No.
Narrow.
Side is too narrow. I said on the right side of the store where the propane was going to go.
it's still the front is
Yes.
what I would say that he's still opposed to that. He's opposed to it being in the front, period.
So we have to move that. Now, do we need permission to put that on the outside of the building when we're plugged in?
What's the second ice
Because
machine?
it's-
I think it's the rule,
It would be on the
It's-
site plan.
It is subject to the site plan and architectural review. That's the bottom line, because it's a feature on the outside of the building, just like anything else, awnings, window treatments, everything.
signs and windows, you know,
Yeah.
so painting in their windows and signs, you know, that's all coming down.
No, it's all about.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, guys, I'll be back. And I appreciate the reconsideration.
Thank you.
I'll see what we can do. I'm gonna go back there now and see.
Former chairman said you only get one bite at the end.
Leah.
Oh, Leah, I didn't.
Yeah, it's like,
Thank you very much. Thank you for being.
I just don't want you to come back in expecting something.
It's fine.
I just don't want you to put the effort in to come back in and then have us just say the same thing and.
So I think a concept-
Does he want to?
After work session would probably be.
A work session
A
would be.
work
good, yeah.
session, they're Tuesday morning. So if you give Leah a call and you get the drawings to her, you can find out what workshop that we can get on, and they're at 7:30. You like these odd hours, they're at 7, they're at 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesdays.
And I just wanted to make sure.
And Zoom, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, next time I'll try to zoom in.
That's next.
well, even that work meeting, there's a Zoom all the
Yeah,
time.